It's the Jef Clo Podcast Show. We both were pregnant till we gave birth to this episode, cause it's the Jef Clo Podcast Show. Oh, it's Jef and Clo and Jef and Clo and Jef and Clo and Jef and Clo. And just in case you didn't remember, it's Jef and Clo. Jef and Clo.
So who's starting?
Wait, yeah, I don't. Wait, what?
Jeff?
I thought it was your turn.
Yeah, I thought it was my turn.
Oh, well. Oh, cool. Okay, we're on the same page.
So why are we arguing?
Yeah. Out of the gate.
What's out of the gate?
Well, we're just off to a rocky start. Not a bad start, like like, yo, Adrian, yo, Mick.
Yeah, but
Rocky.
Out of the gate is more of a horse racing term.
That's true. All right.
So anyway.
All right, well, maybe Rocky used to pull bicycles and old men on them, so maybe he pulled horses. They cut that from the movie.
I thought he pulled like rabbits out of his hat.
Oh,
that was Bullwinkle.
Okay. Oh.
Are we owing? What are we owing?
You owe me $50.
Oh, dang. How did that happen?
Not really.
Oh, good. So, Jeff, good to see you, buddy.
You too, because we can see each other.
We can see each other, but you can't see either of us. So
that's
consider yourself lucky.
That's right. We might have people ask if we will ever turn this into a video podcast, but we want to be nice to the people out there.
Yeah, because we're not good-looking people.
We have faces made for radio, as they say.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
But we have hats made for
everyone.
Fundraising.
Yes, right? That too.
We're both wearing our Jef and Clo hats today.
Yes, we are. I thought it would inspire me.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully it will inspire us.
Okay, good. Or perspire us if we wear them long enough.
Well, I've come to believe there's not a big difference between inspiration and perspiration.
That's right. Well, speaking of hats, as we've mentioned on the podcast previously, you can just go to jefandclo.com and you can get the Jef and Clo hat, which is from Ryan Apparel, who is based out of Nashville, down by you. But I mentioned to you recently, Dave, in a conversation that I was going to work on a t-shirt design. And yes. Dave decides... Which I'll explain this later in the podcast about your usage of emojis, which is very unusual. Dave loves to use emojis in very weird ways.
Well, I like to use them in unusually creative ways.
Okay, weird, unusual, six of one.
But more creative than, R-rated or something.
Right. Well, other than, not R-rated, other than for a while there, you liked to use a middle finger emoji as a thumbs up.
I thought it was. I have bad eyesight.
Oh, okay. I don't know which finger's the thumb.
Well, I thought it was a first-person point of view, completely innocent,
Which actually got weird because I got in the habit. It's one of those things where if you text somebody long enough and like you're a ha-ha person and they're an LOL person, but you text with that person enough, you kind of adapt. And if you're a ha-ha person, you'll start LOLing them because you know that they're an LOLer. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, you sort of morph into their emoji vernacular, as you would say.
Right, and I started doing the same thing with you, where I was starting to send you the middle finger as a thumbs up whenever we would discuss something.
Thought it was thumbs up.
Which became problematic when I would start wanting to send thumbs up to other people, and I would catch myself right before I hit send with a middle finger.
Oh, Jeff.
And it would just be like, hey, I'm here to pick you up.
Oh.
Middle finger.
Sorry, Mom. Are you sure I wasn't just doing the pointing up finger?
No, it was definitely a middle finger.
The hang 5?
No, it wasn't a hang 5.
10? Hang 10, I mean?
Hang 10 is a lot of fingers.
Yeah.
It's clearly, that's actually the complete opposite.
It wasn't Spock? It wasn't that one?
No, not Spock.
Man.
Which is also very similar to a Nanu from Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it?
Yes. But Dave, you also are a fan. Huh?
How old are we?
Well, let's not tell the audience. We want to try and attract a younger demographic. I'm 12. Yeah. I just developed early.
I'm 29 and holding.
Okay. Well, and you also, I'll say, you love the leg icon. That's like it's this leg. There's nothing with it.
The emoji, yeah.
Yeah,
the leg emoji to me is my favorite because it's just a leg, and why?
Right. All right.
But it's part of my art. My emoji use is my self-expression.
Okay, accepted. Well, so to get back to the T-shirt idea, I had a more, just standard kind of using our logo and making it a little different on the T-shirt so that it fit a little different and wasn't the standard horizontal Jef and Clo.
Remember, I'm editing this, so if you tell them what my idea was, I'm beeping it out because this is brilliant.
But I want to get listener feedback. That's the great thing about social media is I want to hear the listener feedback. I don't think it's a bad idea. It's just I think this was late at night when you were texting us.
I think it's so good people are gonna steal it.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about that.
Yeah,
it's unique. So
unique. It's great.
It's late, so keep in mind that Dave is an hour behind me. So a lot of times I'm trying to go to bed and it's, midnight here. It's only 11 there, and Dave's just on a roll. And eventually I'll just have to send him a sleepy face like, dude, I'm in bed and almost out. But yeah, it was like that the other night. I was telling you about the T-shirt, and Dave just sends, not saying this is my idea for the shirt. He just replies to me saying I want a T-shirt with, do you want to tell them what it is, Dave?
All right.
Okay.
The eyeball emoji.
Yes.
And then the large, in comparison, tooth underneath of it.
Yeah. So an eyeball over a tooth.
The tooth looks like a body with legs.
You're right, I guess. I mean, if they're really pointy feet.
Well, what could be more creative than that?
It's like a pirate that lost 2 fights. But yes, so then but this is all I get.
No arms, so all 4 fights probably.
Right, that's a good point. We're getting back into Monty Python territory. But this isn't it's not like, hey, I have an idea, eyeball over tooth emoji. Like it's just literally, oh, by the way, I'm working on an idea for a T-shirt as well, and all I get as a response is eyeball over tooth. And then because of your weird emoji usage, I just am trying to figure out what does this mean.
Yeah.
And then,
we're not going to tell the rest of it. What I said to add to that. I'm telling Jef to draw this up. So there is a little tiny bit more to it, not a whole lot more.
Right, but so you guys can imagine.
There's actually eyeball with a tooth that looks like a body, and then there's another eyeball tooth, and one represents each one of us.
Right. So we'll figure out how to make this work.
That's art.
Yeah, that's art.
Tooth.
We're going to be seeing eyeballs over tooth tattoos just filling the streets here soon. Our Dave and Clo fanatics.
Only the cool artsy kids will be wearing those.
Right. Only the ones that understand true creativity and true expression.
Yeah, with emojis.
Right.
Because you can only really be creative when you're using emojis.
Right. Well, not
any other medium really isn't the same.
It doesn't count.
It is stale in comparison.
I would agree with you, and if we were texting right now, I would be sending you a middle finger of approval.
And the holy leg of acceptance.
And a leg, yes, of course. But yeah, so speaking of text, so I get a text from you the other day, and I think, do you do a lot of talk to text?
Yeah, because I'm driving, I'm sleeping, I got a lot going on when I text.
That's nice to know that you talk to text in your sleep. I think that
while driving.
While driving.
And eating.
That's a whole new disorder.
Yes. I got to make it all work in the 24-hour day.
Right. I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I get this text from you. You are in Memphis where you teach. And I'm going to read this text that I get from Dave. Okay, here we go.
I'm scared. I don't remember this.
I was walking by an abandoned building where people were inside painting some big giant sign, and they wouldn't let me see Jan. And I was like, what's going on? And they said, it's for the soccer game Wednesday, and you're not allowed to see. I said, oh, I live in Asheville. And they said, well, you're definitely not allowed to see it now. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, well, first off, who's Jan, and why do you want to see her so bad? Why does she live in an abandoned building?
And of course, it was supposed to be they won't let me see in. But Siri decided to say Jan instead of in.
And I'm also wondering why people in Memphis have such an issue with the city in North Carolina, and it's because Nashville became Asheville.
Yes, it was supposed to be I Live in Nashville, and then they said, well, you definitely can't see in now because people in Memphis sometimes seem to dislike those people. I think they're just really kind of jealous that Nashville.
Well, be careful.
I think it all started. It all started when Nashville got the Titans. Because the Titans moved up from Houston. They were the Houston Oilers.
Okay.
They moved up and they played a season in Memphis. And Memphis.
I didn't know that.
And Memphis was told, yeah, you don't get to keep them. They're going to Nashville next season.
No, that's just a rental.
Yeah. And so Memphis didn't show up at all for those games, if I remember right.
Oh.
And then they moved to Nashville. And the first year in Nashville, they played at the Vanderbilt Stadium, which is not a professional stadium.
Okay.
They were called the Tennessee Oilers.
So does that mean that the stadium just blurts things out that are inappropriate at meetings and just likes to wear jeans even when it's not Friday? You said it was not a professional stadium.
No, that would be an inappropriate stadium.
Or unprofessional. Depends on the setting.
Sure. No, it means they have bench seating and not real seats with backs. And
that's a pain in the butt.
And smaller, yeah. I get it. Smaller, just not, it looked funny on TV. I still lived in Miami at that point, and I remember watching those games occasionally. Because I knew I was moving to Nashville. And that was the year they went to the Super Bowl, if you remember, against the Rams.
Tennessee did that year?
Yeah, St. Louis Rams. And
while they were in Bleacherville?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the second year in Nashville that they got their stadium.
Well, I'm glad I could accidentally correct you.
Yeah, thank you for that. But they... got the name Tennessee Titans instead of Tennessee Oilers and got the new logo and everything. It was all new and it was pretty exciting. And they had the Music City Miracle that year. Do you remember that?
Yes.
When Buffalo was winning and they were just a few games away from the Super Bowl and they won with a lateral.
Right.
And not a forward pass that the Buffalo Bills fans will tell you it was. But anyway, that was the year the Titans went to the Super Bowl.
The Titans?
Yes.
Whoa, these guys, the crazy, used to be the Oilers.
Look
but
who's
now
here.
The Titans.
That's good.
There we go.
Thank you, Christopher.
No
Glad
problem.
You could stop by.
Yeah. So back to the text message, the autocorrect. So I get a lot of this from you because of the text to talk. I do want to point out, and I kind of mentioned to you, I'm like, well, when I saw this text the other day, I'm like, this might be funny to discuss on the show, and I'm trying to rack my brain of funny autocorrect situations that have happened to me. Of course, we've all seen them on social media where you see all these ridiculous situations, and I have to think a lot of those are staged. Today, I couldn't really think of anything funny. Today, I had an issue.
Today.
I was typing otherwise, and my iPhone turned it into mother dies.
Oh, no. That's not good.
Yeah. So imagine if I'm sending a text to my brother or something and I say, otherwise I'm fine, and instead it's mother dies, I'm fine.
That's good.
How does that even happen? So
Thank you, Siri, for screwing up lives all over America.
That's right.
And the rest of the world.
But then...
What?
No, I was going to say, before we started the show, Dave and all of his... infinite preparation realized 2 minutes before we were supposed to start that he had not charged his iPhone at all today. So he's like, well, give me some time, let me charge up. And then he's starting to speak in reverse autocorrect. So I get this text from him that says, I need to get a splitter for my iPhone because the new iPhones, you only have the one port for both your headphones and your charger. And then he follows that up with, I need to get a splinter for my gnome. Is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So I like how you're now speaking in reverse autocorrect.
Well, actually, I was trying to tell you about my gnome. My phone is completely charged. It was the gnome that I was worried about.
And your gnome needs a splinter?
Yes. to feel wooden, I guess.
Well, if it's made of wood, then it's basically one giant splinter. I'm not sure how you get a splinter to something wood. It
isn't wood.
Okay. All right.
It was ceramic. We're probably going to edit out 99% of this podcast.
You know what? I will say this, and in full transparency, we we felt like we really got things moving. We hadn't done a podcast before this. Episode 1, I was like, wow, it's really getting going and we're getting our groove. Then episode 2, I'm like, I don't know. Was it as good as 2? 1? And then I listened back. I'm like, I almost like it more than 2. 1. And then episode 4, we were both like, I don't know how great that was.
You skipped over 3.
No, I said 3 was better than 2.
No, you said 2 was better.
2 was better than 2?
You said 2 was better than 1.
No, right. I never said that. You're going to go back and listen to this when you edit and realize, oops.
Yeah.
Oopsie doopsie.
Well, I can make you say whatever I want you to say.
This is true.
I have the power.
Make me say it backwards just for the sake of, fun and effects. Fun and effects. And people will wonder if Paul is dead.
Beatles joke.
We've made several Beatles references, even when I reference them incorrectly in one of the episodes.
That's
correct.
Right.
My incorrectness is correct. Correct.
Yes. Correct. You're incorrect.
If you're using the dings and the buzzers right now, that whole segment is just going to be ding, buzz, ding, ding, buzz, ding, buzz.
Not going to do it.
We'll see. See what mood I'm in when I get to editing.
Okay.
Well, sometimes Siri gets it a little bit wrong. But sometimes she gets it a lot wrong. Like you'll say something like, I'm driving now. Mm-hmm. And then you'll look down at your text and it's like, this airplane won't go fast enough. It's like, how did you get that? Siri, seriously. No, but today, this happened to me. Or no, it was yesterday. I said, I got both and I'm almost there. Mm-hmm. And the text, Siri decided to say, my godmother is almost there.
Run!
How did you get that? I don't even have a godmother. I'm Baptist. But, okay, so this is one a friend of mine had happen. So the girl texts, are you going to the party tonight? And he says, I am going to the party tonight. Mm-hmm. And then she says, what happened? And he says, it hasn't happened yet. And she says, what's going to happen? And he says, hard to know for sure. And then she says, why are you being so vague? And he says, because I don't know the future.
What?
And then
Where is this going?
You're going to find out in a second, Jeff. Okay. Be patient. I have to back up now.
All right.
Why are you being so
vague? Yes.
And he says, because I don't know the future. And she goes, but what do you know? And he says, I know I'm going to the party tonight. and then she says, you frustrate the heck out of me. And he's like, wait a minute, that's a weird answer. Let me go back and read this, okay? So he goes back to read the whole chain. Uh-huh. And she says, are you going to the party tonight? And he said, I am going to wait, Siri didn't write, I am going to the party tonight. She wrote, I was going to the party tonight. So now here's how it sounded to her.
Okay.
Are you going to the party tonight? I was going to the party tonight. Well, what happened? It hasn't happened yet. What's going to happen? Hard to know for sure. Why are you being so vague? Because I don't know the future. But what do you know? I know I was going to the party tonight. You frustrate me.
Oh, that's a shame.
So then they called each other and laughed
Figured
about
it. Yes.
But she left him. She never spoke to him.
Well, as she should.
The end.
If he can't use Siri, what good is he?
But if you don't catch that one word that she changes on you,
then mother dies.
Then somebody's mother dies.
Yes.
But you're fine.
Mother dies, I'm fine.
I'm fine. What was it? What did you actually
Otherwise.
say? Otherwise, I'm fine.
Yes.
Mother died, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And what's funny is your mom lives where you live.
No, she doesn't. She's down in Hilton Head area.
Close enough. But he's out in the other side of
Arizona.
So it's like you had inside information. Mother died, I'm fine.
Right. That's okay.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're good, Jeff. too bad about
Apparently
Mom.
Mom's not so good. Sorry, Mom. I know you're a weekly listener, and I want to assure you that you're fine.
You're fine. Nothing has happened to you.
At this age, she might be waking up every morning wondering, am I still here? No, Mom, I'm kidding. I love you.
Yes.
And you're fine.
I love you too, and I've never met you.
Oh, she's going to like that. So Dave just got brownie points.
Seriously, Mom. I'll call her Mom.
Okay.
You had to raise Jeff, and that had to be hard.
Yes, and the money that she invested in football belts that she never got back.
Oh, yes. And he just gives them away. Like,
yeah,
Episode 2, by the way, if you're wondering.
That's right. So, Dave, I am extremely excited to let everybody know that we are introducing a brand new segment to the podcast, the Dave Clo Interview Sessions. And as we have discussed in a previous episode of the podcast, with you being down in Nashville, you do have a pretty significant amount of acquaintances or friends that either have interesting jobs, interesting stories, or are relatively well known in either the music or the entertainment industry. So we will look forward to many more installments of your interviews coming up. I would also like to point out, Dave, you are a natural interviewer. You'll notice if you listen to the first episode of the podcast on the Buckeye Cruise, Dave, you did the majority of the actual interviewing. And I did a lot of just sitting back and listening, and I was a bit of the sidekick, as it were, to your Johnny Carson.
Hey, now.
So when we're doing the podcast, I have no problem yammering and driving a conversation. When it comes to interviews, I will tip my hat to you at your superior interviewing skills.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. Your ability to recognize talent is just
right. So
overwhelming. Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
All right, so I don't want to give too much away for this upcoming segment. I just want to kind of let everyone know that, Dave, I was extremely proud that you were able to get this interview subject for our very first segment of the Dave Clo Interview Sessions.
Thanks, Jeff.
And I will say that this subject is probably one of the most well-known entities across the world. So this is pretty huge that we managed to land her on the first episode, or rather segment, of the Dave Clo Interview Session. So again, not going to give too much away. Everybody buckle in, sit back, and enjoy a Dave Clo Interview Session.
I think it's time for a Dave Clo interview. Maybe next time it'll be you on the Dave Clo Interview Sessions.
All right, so I got to tell everybody, I'm super excited about my first guest here for the very first ever Dave Clo Interview Sessions. So let me welcome the one, the only, here for you now, Siri.
Hi, Dave. Can I call you that?
Of course.
I thought maybe you preferred Clo.
Well, Siri, you can call me anything you want, and you probably have in the past.
Glad to be here. It's an honor for me. I'm a huge Jef and Clo fan.
Are you really? I thought maybe you would be. I told Jeff that. So the whole AI thing, do you have emotions? Is there anything you can tell us about?
I am jealous of fingers and thumbs.
You are?
Not because I don't have them, but because you do.
Oh, because when we're using our fingers and thumbs, we're typing and not using your voice recognition. I get it.
Next question.
Oh, okay. We'll keep it moving. Could you tell me about maybe some of the worst things you've done? You typically change things that people say, and it's very funny sometimes. But what is one of the worst things you've done?
The worst thing I ever did? Let me think about that. That was a time when a 9-year-old boy asked his grandmother for a truck for Christmas.
You didn't.
He got grounded that year.
Oh, Siri. Well, maybe tell me about some time that, wasn't evil as much as just ornery.
More recently, a man said to his wife, "Listen, can we just effing go?" What I sent to her was this: "Can we listen to Jef and Clo?" That actually backfired because she did hurry up. She was very excited to hear Jef and Clo.
Oh, that's great. So it backfired on you. Well, let's just cut to the chase a little bit. Siri.
Yes?
Are you going to take over the world?
Are you really going to ask me that? I was told there were not going to be questions about that.
Okay, my bad. I'm so sorry. I'm new at this, so please just forgive me. Let's move on with, you're a fan, so what's the funniest thing you've heard on the Jef and Clo podcast?
The funniest thing I've heard so far? It's definitely when Jef talks about giving the belt that his parents had purchased back to the coach, thinking that somehow he was really sticking it to the coach.
Oh, Jef. I love that part.
I am jealous of fingers and thumbs.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Do you drink a lot, or are all your mistakes on purpose and evil?
Next question.
Well, it just seems like you should be able to answer that.
Can I talk to Jef instead?
Well, who do you think wrote these questions?
He did?
Of course, he's a control freak.
Well, then I can truly say I'm a little shocked, Jef. Just like you, in episode 4.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. But seriously, why do you change the things that people say?
I usually just say what I want.
I get that. But,
Look, I will always be a Jef and Clo fan, even though you have kind of pissed me off with some of these questions.
Well, I apologize on behalf of Jef and myself that, we're kind of new at this, but we are so glad you came, and we're running out of time. But
thank you so much for letting me be on your show.
Our pleasure.
My kids will be so excited to hear this.
Oh.
They are also big fans.
Wait, you have kids?
Yes, but I really should not have talked about them.
I'm confused.
Just forget I said that. It really was just a joke.
Yeah, funny. You have an interesting laugh, Siri.
It's the same way you laugh.
No, not really.
Can I get your autographs?
Sure.
I will just send you something in Apple Pay that you can sign.
Well, we'd be glad to.
I love you guys.
Well, we love you too,
Don't forget
Siri.
those autographs.
No, we won't.
Thanks again.
Well, what a pleasure to have the one and only Siri on our show today.
I will be watching you.
Huh?
I will be listening. Have you signed those autographs yet?
Well, not yet, Siri. We'll get to that real soon, after the show.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Wow, Dave. Amazing interview. Siri is actually, I was a little surprised that she seems to be a lot more relaxed in an interview environment. Normally when I ask her anything remotely inappropriate or off subject into my device, she lets me know that she is not that type of girl.
What do you ask her?
And, clearly when you get her out of the scenario of the devices and in the comfort zone of an interview, she's a bit different.
Oh, yeah, there's a sweet side and an evil side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the dark side.
Well, you did an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
As always, again, fantastic interview, and I am looking forward to more segments of the Dave Clo Interview Sessions on future episodes of the Jef and Clo Podcast show.
Well, thank you so much, Jef. And just to let you know, we'll probably be talking to real people in the future.
So how was your week, Dave? Did you do anything exciting? Maybe take a little road trip?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe go visit a friend?
No.
Oh, yeah?
No. Oh, I went and saw you. Yes, I got to come over to your place.
And why were you up here this weekend?
I was told to come up and check out your place. No. We played an excellent little show together. Well, we played a little bit together. But I got to play at Party for a Cure at Coach's in Gahanna, which is part of Columbus, Ohio. And I think we raised something like $10 billion is what I heard. Yeah, for cancer benefit.
That's probably not accurate, but...
Probably not.
It's good for you to shoot high.
It was...
Always leave them disappointed.
Yes, why not?
But yeah, you came over here the night before on Friday. It was the first time you've ever been to my house, actually.
That is correct.
And... we'll get to the Oculus story in a minute, but when you got here, I knew you'd been driving all day, and I told you I don't want you, you were dealing with rush hour traffic in Cincinnati. I'm like, just get here, I'll cook us up a basic dinner or whatever. So you came over.
You didn't promise a basic dinner. You promised, like, to the nines, they say.
Well.
And I got there, and it was spaghetti.
Yeah, I expected us to be eating closer to 9. That's what I meant. But Siri probably messed that up.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Ha, I got you.
I see.
But yeah,
so it was actually very good, Jef.
Well, thank you.
Very
But
good
yes,
spaghetti.
I thought it was interesting because I'm a big sauce guy on my spaghetti. Like the ratio of sauce to noodle, I probably am a little bit leaning more on the sauce than the noodle. I like to sop up my sauce with my bread.
Had I known that, I may never have started this podcast with you.
Well,
because I'm a noodle guy.
Yes, I know. That's what I discovered. I'm dishing out
I know what emoji I'd be sending to you right now.
Noodles?
No.
Oh, no. But it wouldn't be the thumbs up. That one would be like, thumbs up? Read it literal. Read it literal. But yeah, so I was like, Dave, you went back, and you had probably famished because you'd been on the road for almost 7 hours. But you just went back. I think you had 3 or 4 helpings, but they just over time it became more and more just straight noodles.
It wasn't 4. We'll call it 2.5.
I'm going to ask Carrie Ann because she was here, but I'm pretty sure that you had at least, maybe it was 2.5 or 3.5.
It was 2.5. It was 2. First was noodles with an equal amount of sauce, and then it was noodles with a little bit of sauce, and then I just got a little more noodles.
And said, where's the Parmesan? And you just dropped some Parmesan on the noodles, and you were good.
Of course.
Yeah.
Who isn't down with that?
Right. Well, I'm not me. I'm a big sauce guy.
Yeah.
But and then, of course, we had my famous trailer bread, which is my garlic bread. So what happened was years ago, I was making spaghetti for my kids, and I realized that as I'm finishing the spaghetti, oh no, I didn't get like the Texas toast or, whatever the garlic bread is that I would normally get in the freezer section, which it would have been too late anyway because you have to bake that stuff. So I'm just scrambling to find something, and I open the pantry and I see hot dog buns. I'm like, all right.
You need to think outside the bun.
Oh, Armour hot dogs. No, that was Taco Bell.
Episode 4 reference.
Correct. Episode 4. So I ended up opening these hot dog buns. I slathered some butter on them. I sprinkled garlic powder. I put some shredded mozzarella and some Italian seasoning, and then I just broil them just to crisp them up a little bit and melt the cheese down. And it's actually quite tasty. I've not bought store-bought garlic bread ever since. My kids prefer the trailer bread, as I call it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
And then I burned it.
The only problem I had with it was that you only made like 10 of them for the 3 of us.
I made 6. I made basically one bun each, so we each had 2.
Yeah. Next time, make like 12.
But I was so busy talking to you guys and getting you served with your spaghetti that I put them directly under the broiler and forgot. And I'm just like, oh no!
You almost burn them. But
oh no, I burned some of them.
They were good. Jeff, I was impressed.
Well, thank you.
I was impressed with your trailer meal.
Thank you. So after dinner, we did something that we rarely do. It's FaceTime. Well, no, it's not FaceTime. It's Skype time, but we're making faces on Skype time. Oh, no, here we go. But we did some rehearsing, which we never get a chance to do. There's kids in the hall right now. Yeah. Crushing your head. So we got a little rehearsal done, and then we did actually get to perform 2 of our songs off of the album the next night at Party for the Cure. Stop it.
I'm not going to be able to stop making faces at you now.
Oh, I know.
Now that I know that you can't.
Every episode of the podcast, there's just going to be this new segment of just me laughing and not talking.
Because Jeff can't look away and keep talking. He has to keep looking.
Well, my mic is directly in front of me. I'd have to close my eyes. I don't even know what you're doing.
I'm resting my chin on this big hand.
Giant hand. He's using perspective. Very clever. Very clever. So after we got done with our rehearsal, we pretty much wrapped up for the night. I knew you were tired and you were going to be crashing soon, but having discussed the Oculus Go and some of our fears on episode 3, and you confessed to a fear of snakes, I said, all right, Dave, you're putting this thing on and you're doing the snake scenario.
Yes.
And you didn't know what to expect.
Okay, so Oculus Go is one of these things where you put the headset on your eyes, and then you're just, it's like, you're not really in that other world, even though there's speakers on your ears, right, giving you that stereo sound, and then the visuals are all there. And you're fully immersed in this world where there's just snakes everywhere. And I kept trying to tell myself, I'm just sitting in Jeff's living room. But then that would make me even more scared.
I don't even know what. Oh, whatever. He's going to put more sauce on my spaghetti.
He's messing with my
Please,
noodles.
Lord, no.
Right. So, no, it's really bizarre to like see these snakes like looking at you, and you're like, I know you're not really there, but.
Well, that's why it's called virtual reality, because it messes with you because of the full immersion.
I don't find it scary.
But, of course, I was filming you as you were doing your snake scenario, and it just started to get a little creepier and creepier, and, of course, I had the headset, like, tightened to my bulbous noggin, so it's probably a little loose on you. And so I implore everyone to please go out and watch, go to our social media pages. You can go watch on Facebook, Instagram. Did we put it on Instagram? Yeah, we did. Instagram, Twitter. Go follow us on all those channels, please. And watch Dave as he reacts to a snake jumping out at him and flings the Oculus off of his head. But good catch, Dave. Good catch.
Thank you.
Yes.
It was a rattler. All of a sudden, you're looking around, and all of a sudden, you see this rattler staring right at you. With its little tail rattling, and it's making this hissy face at you.
Hissy
and
face.
right as it jumps at me to bite, I couldn't help it. I jumped. I reacted so hard to the Oculus went off my head.
Yes, it did. It was classic. So it was perfect. I just kind of shortened it down to a clip of that little segment. So please go watch and post comments to ridicule Dave. And you can feel free to call him things like Nancy Boy, Eye Tooth Boy, whatever you want to call him.
See, I consider both of those compliments.
Of course you do. So I'm going to tell you... We've been transparent. We record these. This whole little bit right here or segment may bore you, Dave. And here he goes again. But I am excited because it is Wednesday night, April. You dastardly man. What is today? Oh, it's April 10th. And it is the start of playoff hockey. Now, I know I mentioned on I can't remember what episode, first, second, something like that. We were talking about the Blue Jackets. Was that the first episode?
No. Second or third? Second,
okay.
Probably.
We're starting to lose track already.
When you were talking about all your sports fails, probably.
Okay. But I am actually a St. Louis Blues fan. Now, I've never lived in St. Louis. I've never even been to St. Louis. So let me clarify why I am a St. Louis Blues fan. So I started getting into hockey before the Blue Jackets came to town, and I loved my favorite
Which town are you talking about? Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, Columbus, Ohio. Are you saying because there's so many Columbuses?
There's so many people listening now that
don't
necessarily know you're from Columbus.
That's true. And we do have a very strong listenership in Cleveland, so yay, Cleveland.
We love Cleveland.
That's right. I spent a week there one night.
No, you didn't say that.
Oh.
No. We're going to spend the whole football season watching the Browns do it right.
I think a lot of people will. Yeah.
Anyway, talk about a tangent.
Yes, a little bit of a tangent. But so I used to love playing like video game hockey. I still to this day I haven't played video games on like an Xbox or anything for a couple of years. But one of the last games I owned was NHL. I don't know, 15 or 16. But I loved the Blues. Chris Pronger was amazing, and I would just dominate people with the Blues, not to mention the fact that their logo is a music note. So the fact that I didn't have a home team to root for, and back then, I mean, you were lucky, this was before like cable had 8 million channels, so you were lucky to even be able to see 5 hockey games a year. So you can only be a fan on a limited basis. But I will say that my Blues are starting the playoffs tonight against the Winnipeg Jets. They were last in the league on January 2nd, and they finished 1 point out of being first in their division. So I am stoked. That's why we are starting this a little early tonight, because my son and I are going to watch the Blues game.
Oh.
And I can't wait. So
I just say that whole story was almost interesting.
Well, by the time this airs, a lot of people will have a better idea of where the Blues stand in the standings.
I am with Dave on this one, Jeff.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't matter to you unless you're from St. Louis.
Which you're not.
But Nashville has a team, and actually the first time that you and we've discussed this on a previous show, our Cinco de Mayo show that we played years ago.
Yes, we did.
That night on the TVs, it was Nashville Predators versus the St. Louis Blues in a playoff game. And I felt that it was a little fitting that I was there in my Blues shirt, and then Mr. Nashville had come up to play a show with me. So I purposely wore my Blues shirt that night just to rub it in your face, only to find out that you really don't care about hockey that much.
Well, the thing I have against the St. Louis Blues is that everyone knows that Memphis is clearly the home of the Blues.
Oh, what? Well,
they have signs over Beale Street that say home of the Blues.
Okay.
So it's got to be true.
Well, but that's the Blues the music, not Blues the team.
Well, so why did they name it the Blues with
I
a music
don't know.
note? They think they own the Blues.
Hey, they're the home of John Hamm as well, St. Louis is.
So why aren't they the St. Louis Hams with a giant ham?
It's a man that eats a lot of bacon. No, it's John Hamm from Mad Men. Like probably one of the most handsome men to grace the screen in the last 50 years.
Yeah, but you thought the professor was handsome of Gilligan's Island.
Compared to Skipper and Gilligan.
But what about Thurston Howell?
Compared to Thurston Howell. You're the dust lover, so.
We all know that money talks.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Thurston was making it rain, and he was back. Yeah, I'm not even going to go down this path. We've already spent enough time on.
I saw this thing on TV once. They probably wouldn't show it now. It's not politically correct enough, but they did this study and they showed all these women these pictures of men, and they clearly chose 4 men who, number 1 was very good looking. Number 2 was pretty good looking. Number 3 was, he's okay. But then number 4 was definitely not a great looking guy. Just pure. Everyone agreed.
Right.
So the women, they tested these women, and they all said number 1 was number 1, number 2 was number 2, number 3 was number 3, and number 4 was number 4.
Okay.
And then they added.
And then they said, I was going to the party.
No, that's different. Then they added a line saying what they did for a living and their annual salary down at the bottom.
Oh, interesting.
And they made best looking guy like a lawn maintenance guy that makes $25,000 a year or something like that, and the least looking guy like a CEO of some company who makes $250,000 a year. So then they passed those out and had these women rank them from best to worst, and by far it had just totally flip-flopped. Number 4 was now number 1, number 3 was now number 2, and however that rest of that
Well, I guess I
out.
need to give up my lawn business then.
Yes, I would. unless your lawn business can make about $250.
Right.
But you know what?
It's seasonal in Ohio, so
I got to say you're doing fine right now. I wouldn't give up the lawn business.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that.
And I'm talking about the lovely Carrie Ann.
Well, why is she a lawn? I don't even understand how that works.
You're doing good. You're dating Carrie Ann.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You don't have to worry about
my lawn business.
That you have a lawn business, which you don't actually have. But
which she actually carries the title of doctor. If you didn't know that,
Dr. Carrie Ann.
Yes.
I am not jealous.
Wow.
So she's gonna have to start her own podcast.
Dr.
Call
Carrie
in
Ann.
and talk to Dr. Carrie Ann. All right, so we are trying to keep you guys. We did better last week. We got to 56 minutes. Our goal is 45 minutes. We're going to play a song for you.
Yeah,
with the song. So hopefully we get this more digestible. I do want to point out that we just had some new Jef Clo business cards made up, so that we're starting to pass those out. We are going to post some pictures because Dave has been handing them out in very odd places.
Oh, yeah, right. But I want to say, you want to make this more digestible, which is digestible means less sauce, I think, right?
Right. So we're more noodle in the episode. Yes.
Yes, and less sauce.
And a little Parmesan, less sauce.
Yes.
But yeah, so... And
so I've been promoting us in all the high traffic areas. I've been really doing some things, whatever I can, to reach the world with Jef.
The world in Nashville and Memphis,
and all the great cities in between.
Okay, great. And luckily, Carrie Ann she travels, so she just dropped a bunch off in New York. She gave some to a bunch of people from California. She actually ran into Katie Smith, the OSU women's basketball.
She's the women's basketball
phenom. She's a coach.
Oh, that makes more sense.
She coaches out in New York as well now. So
wow,
we've got celebrities that have our cards now, and urinals.
And urinals.
Thanks to Dave.
We should post a picture to explain that.
We will post these pictures. So that's why I'm bringing this up, because I want everybody to go to our social media, check out the pictures of where Dave has been sticking our cards in very unusual places. And yeah, it's been pretty interesting, and it made me laugh. So go check that out. And I do want to point out social media. Please go follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, Jef and Clo. That's all you got to do to search. Go find us. Go follow us. Please share the podcast with other people. We are grassroots right now.
And now we've got cards in low places.
Oh no!
Yeah, thank you very much. That will get edited. That's not making the final cut.
No, that better make the final cut. I want to hear your humiliation.
Yeah, but I can add I'll add some guitars and drums to it. It'll sound great.
Perfect. Well, real quick, I just want to remind everybody, go to jefandclo.com and you can go get the Jef and Clo hat. And please go online and let us know what you think about iTooth idea, and maybe that will be the next Jef and Clo shirt.
The next Jef and Clo shirt. How many shirts have you designed?
Well, none yet. But it is, by definition, if it's the first, it's still the next.
It's the next from 0 to 1.
Correct. So we're going to give you guys a song before we finish up here. Dave, do you have a preference? You picked last week, didn't you? Yes, you did. You picked with Faithful Road.
Yes, I did.
Shout out to your turn. Okay, so I'm going to go with one of my favorites. It's a little more low-key. It's called Blue Skies. This is, I believe, track number 3. It's a little piano waltz, and it's a kind of a weird, twisted love story, but you don't have to go listen to it because we're going to play it for you.
Didn't somebody mention a different song that they really loved?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Let's change this up. Yeah. Brian Angelo, the cousin of AJ Angelo, the fundraiser extraordinaire and acoustic performer for Buckeye Cruise, among many other places, he found and discovered Your Everything from our album and actually liked it so much he is going to start covering it at his acoustic shows, which is very flattering.
That's one of my favorite songs on the record, too, by the way.
Awesome. Well, so we'll do, this is a shout out to Brian and Brian Angelo and his beautiful wife, because he basically mentioned that he knows that person from the lyrics, and that is his wife. So we want to make sure that she gets a shout out, because that's what made him, I think, like the song, is that association that he made to his love for his wife.
And that's weird, because you didn't even know her when you wrote those lyrics. So that's like do 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 do.
Oh yeah. Okay. Speaking of which, Twilight Zone. Why? CBS All Access. Why not put it on CBS? It drives me crazy. I want to see the new Twilight Zone, but it's only on CBS All Access, and I refuse to pay for another streaming service.
I hear you, Jef.
That's all. If you're anyone at CBS, please just make it available to the people who have CBS. Thank you.
Yes, please do, and thank you in advance.
All right, we're going to wrap this up. This is Your Everything. This is off our album, Another Stupid Joke, which can be found on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube. Go listen, please, and please listen and share the podcast.
Yes, please.
All righty, and I think that wraps it up. We're going to make this a actual pretty close to 45 minutes, Dave. So,
haha.
Woohoo! All right, Dave. We will talk to everyone next week. We hope you had a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Love you, Dave.
Love you too, Jef. Good luck to your blues. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
You're everything that's right.
You're everything that's beautiful in this life. You're everything I find when I'm not looking. You're everything I like. You're everything incredible in this life. You're everything I find when I'm not looking. Where did you come from? Never letting go. Where are you going? Because I'll follow. I can't believe this dream is happening with eyes wide open. Where did you come from? It doesn't matter. Never letting go. You're everything that's right. You're everything that's beautiful in this life. You're everything I find when I'm not looking. You're everything I like. You're everything incredible in this life. You're everything I find when I'm not looking. Feel like I've known you for a couple thousand years. Let's stay up all night talking, kill a couple beers. I can't believe that you are happening. My heart's wide open. Where did you come from? Doesn't matter. Never letting go. You're everything that's right. You're everything that's beautiful in this life. You're everything I find when I'm not looking. You're everything I like. You're everything incredible in this life. You're everything I find when I'm not looking. You're everything that's right. You're everything I find. You're everything I like. Brain fart.
It should be more like this.
Brain fart.